So today we are going to work the hamstrings. All right, in yoga specifically a lot, we tend to lengthen the hamstrings a lot, and we also want to make sure we create that balance in the body. So we want to, not only lengthen the hamstrings, but also work the hamstrings. And this is also important for back bending, right? So when we do back bending, the back body, not just your spine muscles, but your hamstrings, your inner thighs, your glutes, your spine muscles, your erector spinae, they're all going to work along with your core to help you find this extension of the spine. So we're going to explore working the hamstrings, and we do this a lot in Pilates, so we'll explore that, and then we'll really make sure to stretch them out towards the end, all right? And when we think of back bends, I don't want you to think of what you might see on the internet of this beautiful C U shape, okay? That is something we may never do in our spine, and that's okay, because I want you to think about keeping the length between the vertebrae, right? I want you to smash your low back, right? So when we kind of say, this would be my back body, so where my wrists are, I don't want you to, right, these are the vertebrae, I don't want you to smash like this, okay? So pressing the vertebrae kind of towards one another and compressing into the lumbar spine. Gravity Life does that enough. So I want you to think about keeping the length between the vertebrae and then maybe opening up a little bit, okay? So you'll see this with airplane pose, cobra, things when we kind of lay on the belly, and we just find this reaching out and then slightly up, okay? So let go of any expectations with back bending. We're just going to find a little lift today and focus on engaging the back muscles, the glutes, and the hamstrings to support us as we extend the spine, all right? So when you're ready, let's go ahead, find any position that feels best for you. We will come onto the back at some point, but if you want to come to child's pose, if you want to lay on your back, take a seat, find anything that will kind of ground you, center you, kind of bring you into the present moment. And as you find that position, don't be afraid to take some movements, maybe open and close the mouth, wiggle out the jaws, maybe explore the shoulders. If you're seated, maybe take some shoulder shrugs. If you're on your back, maybe wiggle the shoulder blades underneath you. And then maybe starting to work down the body, check in with the low back, the pelvis, the hips, the legs. And don't be afraid to find a spot that feels really good, really supported to help you reset. And then if it feels right, maybe start to bring your awareness inward, connecting with the breath, maybe connecting with the heartbeat. You don't have to change the breath, just starting to become aware of it. Starting to feel this nice rise and fall of the chest, of the belly. And if connecting with the breath it doesn't feel right, no need to do it. Maybe find a different technique. And as you maybe explore the rise and the fall, the ebb and the flow, maybe you can start to soften a little bit more. Kind of using the exhale breath to help you soften the edges. And today, maybe focusing on the inner chatter that we may have. And just really being aware of the noise, of maybe what you are telling yourself, and seeing if it serves you. And if it doesn't, if it is harmful, knowing you have the opportunity to change the chatter. Sometimes we are our biggest critic. We have that, inner voice, that inner critic that tells us we may not be good enough. So for the next 60 minutes, Be aware of the thoughts, of the chatter, maybe being aware of when that inner critic pops up. And see if you can change the chatter. So if you would like, option to maybe create a positive affirmation statement. And so when that inner critic pops up, you can repeat this statement to help you reset, to help you let go of that inner voice that's holding you back. And it can be very simple, but yet very powerful. Maybe using the phrase, I am enough. Or feel free to create your own. And if you have a phrase, an intention, a focal point, maybe hold it at the heart, placing it at the heart chakra, anahata, which is this place of love, of grace, of kindness, of gratitude. So whenever that inner critic pops up, come back to this place of love to help you reset. To remind yourself that you are enough. And then we'll seal our intentions in with a couple rounds of breath. So if you would like, take a deep inhale in through the nose, filling up with your statement, your intention, whatever it may be. And then slow and steady open mouth exhale, let it go. Maybe one more deep inhale, fill the belly, the chest. Maybe hold the breath at the top. And then slow and steady open mouth exhale, let it go. And then always an option for an Ujjayi pranayama breath. As you inhale through the nose, this time seal the lips. And then exhale back out through the nose, finding that slight constriction in the back of your throat. Making the breath audible. And also slowing the breath down. And then you're more than welcome to stay here or come back to a place of rest at any point. But when you are ready, slowly start to reawaken. Maybe start to wiggle the fingers, the toes, roll the ankles, the wrists. And then maybe make the movements a little bit bigger. And like I said, we'll start on the back today. So if you're not there, you're more than welcome to join us on the back at any point. Once you're on the back, maybe you sway the knees, maybe bring the knees to the chest. We'll take, 3, 4, 5 rounds of breath here to kind of reawaken, to kind of check in with the body, finding some organic movement. And then option for wind removing pose, you can hug the right leg in, extend the left. All right, maybe find some space in the front of the left hip. And then gently draw the right knee towards you. Maybe explore a little bit, roll the ankle, sway the knee, wiggle out the jaw. And then take your time, slowly pull the left leg back in to meet the right, give yourself a squeeze. And then other side, extend the right leg, the left knee can hug in, same thing, explore, maybe sway the knee, roll the ankle, spread the toes. Kind of breathing into the front of the right hip. Good, and then one more time, pull both knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. Good, and then go ahead, place your feet flat on the ground, and then arms can come off to the side like a T, and we'll find a nice twist. So knees will fall left, maybe adjust the hips to the right. And my knees are not stacked. My right leg is my right knee is further back than my left, and I'm focusing more on stacking the hips and finding a position that feels really good for the low back. Okay, so your low back doesn't really rotate, so we're going to focus on rotating at the ribs here. So feel the ribs gently reach right, and maybe the knees gently reach left. You can always adjust the left shoulder blade underneath you, but gaze can be up, maybe chin falls to the right. And very, very early in class, so just find a spot that feels good to help you maybe lengthen out the right side a little bit. Take a breath, deep inhale. Maybe you gently twist with the exhale. Good, then take your time, slowly come back to center. And we'll take it to the other side. Knees will fall right, maybe adjust the hips to the left. Try to stack the hips here. And remind yourself the knee, the left shoulder do not have to be touching the ground. But focusing on rotating at the ribs, your T-spine, feeling the ribs gently pull towards the left. Or maybe they reach to the left as the knees reach right. Kind of see if you need to adjust the pelvis, the front ribs, finding a spot that feels really supported for the lumbar spine. Twisting is going to help us lengthen, so try not to compress. One more breath. Soften with the exhale. Good, then take your time, slowly come back to center. And then option for maybe a full body stretch. You can extend the legs, maybe you reach the arms to the side. If it feels okay in the shoulders, maybe reach them overhead, kind of wiggle it out, maybe point the toes, spread the toes. And then we'll come into our Pilates work. So go ahead, bend the legs, place your feet flat on the ground. And then just take some little baby cat-cow, so pelvic tilts. So just gently start to rock the pelvis forward and back. Just kind of exploring flexion and extension of the spine. So as you rock the pelvis forward, coming into extension, a little back bend. So make sure the front ribs are in. And then as you pull the pelvis underneath you, press the low back to the ground, you're going to find space in the back, which would be flexion of the spine. Good, and let's find neutral. So you're not arching the low back, you're not pressing the low back into the ground. And then hands can rest off to the side by the hips. And then see if you can try to keep your pelvis stable to keep the low back supported as we start to add some arm movement. So as you inhale, maybe reach your fingertips to the ceiling. Stay here or exhale, start to reach overhead. Inhale back to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back down. Starting to move with the breath. Starting to open up the shoulders, start to work the shoulders, warm them up. But also trying to keep your torso, especially your low back, really supported. Couple more, maybe moving with the breath, nice and slow. Good, and then option to bring your arms off to the side like a T. And kind of warm up the chest muscles, maybe the inner shoulders. As you inhale, start to bring the hands in front of you overhead. And then as you exhale, open back up to a T. And kind of feel the feedback on the ground as you kind of explore the movements of the arms with the shoulder blades. And starting to feel your pec muscles, your chest muscles starting to turn on. Low back is still supported, still stable. Good. And then option to reach your arms overhead. We're going to start to kind of add on some movements. So from here, bring your hands back by the hips. I'm going to take some circles here. So as you inhale, reach the arms overhead as high as you like. And then exhale, circle it around to the hips. So inhale, reach. Exhale, circle it around. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle it around. Good. Couple more. Say hi to the shoulders, but still being very aware of your low back. See if you start to flare the front ribs. Try to keep your front ribs hugging in, keeping the core engaged to keep your low back supported. Last one. Good. Awesome job. Arms come to the side, palms can face down. Maybe rock the head side to side, open and close the mouth, reset, maybe even sway the knees. Good. Now let's start to find some engagement of the core muscles, really, purposeful engagement. Starting to find imprint position. Okay, so take a breath, big inhale. As you exhale, imprint, feel your bottom ribs, your pelvis, pull to the belly, strong core, low back is grounded. Hold, take an inhale. Exhale, soften, release. Okay, so very passive here, relax, take an inhale. And then very active, bottom ribs, pelvis, pull to the belly, low back is grounded. Hold, take an inhale, and then exhale, release. Good, a couple more, then we'll add on. Inhale, breath. Exhale, imprint. Hold through your inhale. Exhale, release. Good, last two. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, imprint. Hold, take an inhale. Exhale, release. Good. Last one, we're going to add on. Inhale. Exhale, imprint. Good. Now maybe you hold here and breathe. Feet can stay grounded, or maybe start to lift one leg and then lift the other, coming into a dead bug position. Knees over the hips. Maybe flex or point the toes. And then option to place your palms on the thighs. So now more weight bearing, right? More weight because the feet are lifted. So making sure the core is engaged. Maybe kind of intensify your imprint position by pulling your thighs and your palms together. So pressing everything to center. Maybe you shake a little bit. Keep the shoulders soft. Good. Keep squeezing for 4. Make sure to breathe. Last 3. Squeeze for 2. Last one. Big inhale. And then exhale, release. Good. Awesome job. And we'll do some hip rolls. So draw the heels down. As you inhale, gently lift the hips, coming off the glutes, the low back, mid back. And then as you exhale, rolling onto the mid back, low back onto the glutes. So take your time. And I have a pillow underneath my head, and I shouldn't be doing kind of bridge work with the pillow underneath my head. I want to keep the cervical spine nice and lengthened. So if you need to adjust. 2 more. Kind of feel your spine rolling off the mat as you inhale, and then rolling back onto the mat as you exhale. Good. Awesome work. All right, so we're going to add on a little bit, okay? So with back bending, we have to keep our core muscles engaged, but we're starting to lengthen the core muscles. So this is called an eccentric contraction, okay? So we're going to think about starting to lengthen the front body, but I want you to keep your core muscles engaged and try not to flare the front ribs and arch the low back, okay? So find imprint, hug your bottom ribs, pelvis to the belly. Maybe stay here and hold. Maybe dead bug, lift one leg at a time. And then holding here, option to kind of place your palms on the ceiling and kind of lift the arms as well, okay? Now, at any point, you could place your hands to the thighs and squeeze and hold, or you could place your feet back on the ground and hold imprint, okay? Now, we're going to add some movement of the arms and the legs. Keep your core muscles engaged as you start to lengthen, protect the low back. So we'll start on the left side. As you inhale, maybe you extend the left arm, left leg, start to reach. Low back is still grounded. And then as you exhale, pull it in. Inhale, extend the right. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale the left. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale the right. Exhale, pull it back in. So go at your own pace and do as many as you want to do. Especially if you start to feel your front ribs flaring. So maybe your core muscles are starting to fatigue. And now the low back is holding the load instead of your core muscles. Take rest. No need to force it. No need to hurt yourself. If you're still moving, maybe 1 more on each side. Good. And then holding that center, maybe kind of draw the elbows and the thighs towards center. Strong core. Take a breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, release. Good. Awesome job. Rolling up into your shoulder bridge. So as you inhale, draw the heels down, gently coming up. And then exhale, roll onto the mid back, low back, back to the glutes. 1 more. Inhale, gently lift. Exhale, gently bring it down. Good. And then maybe start to draw the knees side to side, maybe shell position, kind of hug it in, rock it out. Good. Now, if you have a block, we're going to do 1 more round with the block. So dead bug, and the block will help us really stabilize, but this is also intense. So you can stick with any variation we did, or you can add the block, okay? So if you have a block, grab it and place it on the right side. So find your imprint, lift the right leg, and that block is going to go on the thigh with the long way, and then the block can go on the elbow. Okay, and maybe you just hold here, kind of squeeze the block. If you don't have a block, or if the block is kind of awkward, depending on how long your limbs are, same thing, you could focus on squeezing an imaginary block, kind of energetically drawing the elbow and the thigh together, or maybe place your right hand on the thigh and you squeeze the hand in the thigh, okay? Now you could stay here, like I said, or option to lift the left, find your dead bug, and we're just going to do the left side, maybe 8 reps. Strong belly, front ribs, pelvis, pull to the belly button. Here we go. Inhale, slowly extend. Exhale, slowly pull it back in. Inhale, extend, squeeze the block. Exhale, pull it back in. Feel free to do as many as you like, and just be very aware of your low back, right? We're lengthening now, but still holding a contraction in the core muscles to keep the space, the support in the low back. Last 3, as many as you got. Last 2. Pull it in. Good. Last 1. Pull it in. Hold here. Squeeze that block if you have it. And then exhale, release. Good. Now take a couple rounds of breath before we do the other side. Maybe shoulder bridge, sway the knees. Maybe a shell position. Pull the knees into the chest. Rock it out. Whew. All right. Last ones. Other side. So if you have a block, find imprint and then place that block on the left thigh, left elbow, maybe left palm and left thigh squeeze. Find what you need. Option is stay here, or maybe you lift the right. Okay, so squeezing that block, keeping that contraction in the core as we move the right side. So as you inhale, extend, maybe the right arm, right leg. Exhale, gently pull it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull it back in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull it in. Get as many as you got. Very aware of the core, your low back. Last 3, squeeze that block. Last 2, pull it in. So strong. Last 1, pull it in. Hold at the center, dead bug. Big inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Woo, you did it. Awesome job. Sway it out, open and close the mouth. Might feel good to find shell, pull the knees into the chest, gently rock. Good. And then when you're ready, we're going to be in tabletop position. So you can roll to one side. Maybe that's enough. Press yourself up. If you've been playing with rolling like a ball, you're more than welcome to roll forward and back. But once you are in tabletop position, take about 5 rounds of breath here for yourself, right? Maybe recenter. See if you have some judgment, some criticism pop up, right? See if you can change the chatter, change the noise. Maybe come back to your statements. Reset. You can always start to explore some cat-cow, maybe starting to lengthen out the front body. The same thing as you come into your cow spine, big inhale. Try not to overextend and flare the front ribs, so keep the length. And then as you exhale, starting to round the spine, breathe into the back. One more. Good. And then coming into that neutral position, so your pelvis is not spilling the water to the ground, you're not splashing it to the ceiling. Find that nice long position. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Hips are still pointing forward. And then option to take your right hand behind the head. So bending at the elbow. And we're going to come back to rotating at the ribs. So press into the left hand. As you inhale, maybe lift your right elbow. Feel your ribs turn right. And then as you exhale, twist. Feel the ribs turn to the left. Inhale, lifting up. Press into the left palm. Exhale, gently twist. Try to keep the hips, the pelvis stable. One more big inhale. Gently twist as you exhale. Now option for thread the needle. Inhale, right arm to the side, maybe towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Right arm comes underneath. Gently rolling to the right side. Right side of your face can hover. Maybe place it on a pillow or the ground. And then press the back of the right arm down. Gently lift the heart. Right? Feel the ribs turning to the left. You can even explore extending the left leg, but find a nice stretch in the outer shoulder and maybe into the upper back. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. And then left palm will press down. Inhale, slowly rise. Right fingertips to the side or maybe overhead. And then exhale, release back to tabletop. Awesome work. Same thing other side. So left hand's going to come behind the head. Keep your hips pointing forward. Feel your T-spine rotate the ribs. So press into the right hand. Inhale, lift your left elbow. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And so feel the ribs rotating. Thoracic spine mobility is so important, especially as we get older. Last one. And then option for thread the needle. Left hand to the side, maybe overhead. And then exhale, left arm underneath, gently rolling to the left. Maybe the left side of your face hovers or gently comes to a block, a pillow, the ground, but making sure you're not placing the weight into the neck. So back of the left arm presses down. Maybe you play with the right leg, extend it. Find a spot where you can breathe into the upper back, maybe the outer shoulder. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Good, then your right hand will come down. Inhale, rise. Left fingertips to the side or overhead. And then exhale, release back to tabletop. Good. Now your choice. You can stay here or Adho Mukha, down dog. Palms can walk forward. Tuck the toes under, send the hips high. And then find a couple, rounds of breath here. Maybe kind of swaying the hips, pedal at the legs. But make sure the hands are super active, right? Gripping the hands down, lifting up out of the wrists. Make sure the shoulders are working. Find a little lift from the inner arms, front ribs in. Into that bend in the knees will give your pelvis some space to adjust, maybe to kind of draw it forward a little bit to help lengthen out the low back. So bend in the knees will give you some extra space, so don't be afraid to try it out. One more breath. Soften for the exhale. Good, now we're going to start to warm up the shoulders even more. So from down dog, think about using your core muscles. Inhale, start to shift forward into your high plank, kind of rolling forward, shoulders over the wrists. Pull the hands and the feet to center. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in. Lift the hips high, back to down dog. So moving with the breath. Inhale, gently wave yourself forward. Exhale, back to down dog, wave yourself back. Maybe one more. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Say hi to those shoulders. Exhale, down dog, hips high. Now adding on, inhale, shift forward, high plank. And then as you exhale, maybe come onto the knees. Bend the elbows, come all the way down to the ground. Good, so like I said, we're going to really work the back body today, okay? So we're going to do Pilates, belly down back bends. It's called breaststroke prep 1. In yoga, it's called cobra pose, okay? So the hands are a little bit different in the Pilates variation. Maybe the palms walk slightly forward and the elbows and the forearms are on the ground. Yoga, the elbows would be lifted. So find the variation that feels best for you. But right away, see if you're kind of pressing your belly button to the mat. Maybe kind of adjust. Maybe that pelvis kind of rocks underneath you. And the pubic bone kind of presses down as the ribs pull in. Feet are grounded. Knees are lifting. Inner thighs are squeezing in. Outer hips are rolling down. Now the breath is a little bit different for Pilates. So take an inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, gently come up. Pubic bone pressing down, shoulder blades down the spine, gaze is slightly forward. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lower down. Good, so we're going to do a couple with the breath here, and then we'll take rest. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift. Not pressing into the hands, front ribs in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, lower. Good, maybe two more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Inner thighs squeezing in, outer hips rolling down. Exhale, lower. Good, one more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. And then after your inhale, exhale, lower. Good. Arms can go off to the side, palms face up. Left ear to the mat, gaze goes right, stretch out the neck. Let your heels rock open, soften the glutes. Slow it down. Good, now you're more than welcome to stay here. Skip the second round. Option for breaststroke prep 2 or stick with 1. All right, so for option 2, chin will come back to the center, and then this time palms will face down. That would be more the yoga variation, like locust pose. And Pilates, the palms will face the outer thighs, okay? But the same principles apply. So feet are pressing down, knees are lifting, outer hips roll down, pubic bone pressing down so you can draw your front ribs in, keeping the pelvis underneath you. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, gently lift the chest, squeeze your glutes, shoulder blades down the spine. Inhale, breath. Exhale, lower. Maybe a couple more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Feet are grounded. Hold through the inhale. Exhale, lower. Be very aware of the low back. Maybe you're lifting too high. Take an inhale. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Gaze is slightly forward. Back of the neck is long. Exhale, lower. Maybe 2 more. Feel your glutes working. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Hold for the inhale. Exhale, lower. Good, we got 1 more. Inhale, breath. Exhale, squeeze and lift. And then exhale, lower. Good, awesome job. Right ear can go to the mat. Stretch out the neck. Palms face up. Heels rock open. Maybe kind of sway the hips a little bit. You can even bend the legs, heels to the ceiling, and kind of windshield wiper. Go side to side. Beautiful work. And then chin can come back to center. Palms walk underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes, pressing up. Option for child's pose, or you could take a shell position. So for shell position, knees would be closer together. Maybe that's a little more supported for the low back. Or child's pose, knees go wider. But kind of breathe into the low back, breathe into the back body. Let it reset after all the hard work. Take an inhale. Slow exhale. Good. Then take your time coming up to tabletop. Stay here or downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, send the hips high. And then we'll travel to the top of the mat. So lift your heels, gaze forward, bend your legs, step, walk all the way to the top. And then once you're there, we'll take our first halfway lift. Option for airplane arms. So as you inhale, sweep the arms back. Feel your core muscles work, so kind of feel your front ribs hug in. And then gaze to the toes, shoulder blades down the spine. So really strong core here. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Maybe bend into the knees, hands to the ground. Now inhale, rise, extended to Tadasana. Keep it bent in the knees. Reach the arms forward, maybe overhead. And then as you exhale, hands to heart. Samasthiti, pull it in. Take a breath, deep inhale. If you need it, open mouth exhale. Good, so kind of like a sun A-B combo here. Warming up a little bit more. Inhale, rise, extended to Tadasana. Reach forward, maybe overhead. Be aware of the front ribs. And then exhale, forward fold. Bend at the knees, hinge at the hips. Take it down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Sweep the arms back. Hug your front ribs in. Gaze to the toes. And then exhale, high plank. Plant the palms, step your feet back. Feel free to come onto the knees. We're going to add chaturanga, the tricep push-up. Front ribs in, take an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, come about halfway down. Now your choice, option for upward dog. Feet press down, maybe the knees lift the heart, front ribs in. You can always lower down to the ground for cobra. And then exhale, down dog, hips high. Take a breath here, deep inhale. Soften with your exhale. Good. Now 3-legged dog. Lift the right leg. We got this. Press firmly to the hands. Big inhale. As you exhale, knee to your nose. Think of your cat back. Round the spine. Lift your left heel. Gaze forward. Step. Maybe lift the right hand. Wiggle your right foot forward. Low lunge. Good. Now option to come onto the left knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge, rise up. Right away, squeeze your feet towards center. So the right heel is reaching back as your left knee is drawing forward. And then this is a back bend. So see if you're kind of overextending and maybe dumping weight into the low back. Keep the ribs hugging in. Gaze is forward, find a focal point. Good, right hip back, left hip forward, big inhale. Stay for the exhale. Now make sure your left toes are tucked under. You can kind of use that to power into forward fold. So take an inhale breath. As you exhale, hands to the ground. Forward fold, step your left foot to meet the right. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe fly the arms back, front ribs in. Exhale, fold, let it go. Now this time, chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit the hips back. Hands can reach forward. Or maybe hands to heart. Okay. So see if you're kind of kicking your tailbone behind you. Maybe scoop the pelvis underneath you. Hug the front ribs in. Relax the shoulders. Now find your strong legs. Pull the feet away. Inner thighs squeeze in. Take a breath. Maybe sit a little lower. Good. Last inhale. And then as you exhale, press to stand. If need to, hands can come to heart. Start to straighten through the legs. Right back where we started. Good. Reset. Slow it down. Good. Same thing other side. Inhale, rise. Extended Tadasana. Ground down. Rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips. Take it down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe fly the arms back. Front ribs in. And then exhale, high plank. Plant the palms, step back. So we're headed to down dog. Feel free to go there or maybe come onto the knees. Take an inhale. Chaturanga, tricep push-up. Maybe inhale into up dog or lower to the ground for cobra. And then exhale, down dog. Hips go high. Take a breath. Slow it down. And then option to lift the left leg high. Three-legged dog. Take an inhale. Exhale, knee to your nose. Lift your right heel. Round the spine. Gaze forward. And then you're going to step to the top. Maybe lift the left hand to bring your left foot through. No worries on that transition. And then lower onto the right knee. Keep your right toes tucked under. Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge. Rise up. Good. Pull the feet towards one another. So you're squaring the hips forward and lengthening through the front of the right hip and into your quad. See if you can grow tall through the crown of the head without kind of flaring the front ribs. Hug the front ribs in. Keep the core strong to help you lengthen, support the low back. Now make sure the right toes are tucked under. Kind of big transition here. Take a breath. Big inhale. As you exhale, forward fold. Hands to the ground. Step your right foot to meet the left. Shake it up. Okay. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe fly your arms back. Think of airplane. Exhale, fold. Back to chair. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit the hips back. Maybe sweep the arms forward. Front ribs in, pelvis underneath you. Feet pull away, inner thighs squeeze in. Good. Now take an inhale. As you exhale, press to stand. Samasthiti hi. Hands to heart. Straighten through the legs. Good. So a lot of movement, right? Kind of picking up the pace to warm up the body, to keep the blood flow going. So we'll do that one time, moving meditation, then we'll start to slow it down. So take a breath here, reset, deep inhale, open mouth, exhale. Good, feel free to go at your own pace. Inhale, rise, extended Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, bow to your amazing body. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe fly the arms back. Exhale, high plank, plant the palms, step it back. Maybe onto the knees. Take an inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale to your back bend, maybe upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes under, downward dog, hips high. Inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to your nose, find space, step it through, low lunge. Take your time, come onto your left knee. Keep your left toes tucked under. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge, rise up. Right hip back, left hip forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the ground. Left foot meets the right. Shake it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Reset, neutral spine. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit the hips back. Sweep the arms forward. Exhale, press to stand, Samasthiti hi. Take a breath, deep inhale. Slow exhale. Good, one more side. Take it at your own pace. Here we go. Inhale, rise, extended Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, bow to your body. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe fly the arms back. Exhale, high plank, plant the palms, step it back. Maybe onto the knees. Remember, we're headed to down dog. Take an inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale to your back bend, maybe upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, hips go high. Lift your left leg, three-legged dog, big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, find space. Step your foot through to your left thumb. Maybe lift through the left hand. Coming onto the right knee. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge. Keep your right toes tucked under. Pull your feet towards one another. Big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the ground. Step to the top of the mat. Shake it off. Inhale, halfway lift. Reset. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Inhale, Utkatasana. Bend the knees. Sit the hips back. And then exhale, press to stand. Samasthiti. Woo. Reset. Big inhale. Maybe an open mouth exhale. And if you have one, come back to your statement. Inhale, fill up. I am enough. Exhale, let go of any criticism. One more deep inhale. Slow exhale. Good. Awesome job. All right, slowing it down, and we're going to really kind of start to tap into those hamstrings and the glute muscles with airplane pose. All right? So a little bit of balance here. Ground down through your right foot, and then start to lift your left leg, one-legged Tadasana. So kind of similar to what we did on the ground in that dead bug position, right? Can you keep the core engaged? And then kind of squeeze your right glute muscle, find strength from the back body. Hands can stay at the heart. Maybe you reach them overhead. Find what you need here. Now start to imagine airplane or airplane lunge in your mind. I'm going to go into the lunge, but feel free to find the balanced posture that serves you best. So take a breath, big inhale. As you exhale, airplane or airplane lunge. Sweep the arms forward. Step your left foot back, bending into the right knee for the lunge. If you're in airplane pose, find what you need. But if you're in the lunge position, same rules apply. The right hip is energetically reaching back. Hug your front ribs in, making sure you're not arching into the low back. So maybe adjust the pelvis a little bit. Reach back through the left heel. Now, if you're not in the lunge position, make sure to join us. Find a grounded position. And then as you inhale, reaching lunge. So you're going to sweep the arms forward. Maybe ears in line with the biceps, but keep your core engaged. Keep your front ribs in. Right hip back. Good, so strong. Big inhale. And then as you exhale back to airplane lunge, sweep the arms back. Flying with the breath. Big inhale, reaching forward. Big exhale, sweep it back. Good, one more. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, sweep it back. Now a little different transition. We'll take this into 5-point star. So as you inhale, left arm reaches forward, bursting open to the left. Turn your right toes in, take up space. Okay, so toes gently in, heels out. Now you're going to go to the back of your mat. You're going to bend into the left leg. So big inhale. As you exhale, side lunge. Bend into the back knee. Your left knee, hands will come to heart. So kind of bob a little bit. Breathe into the front, right inner thigh. Keep your front ribs in. So see if you're flaring. Core is engaged to protect the low back. And then you can kind of move with the breath here. So as you inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend into the right. Other side. Maybe you bob a little bit. And then coming back to the left. So as you inhale, straighten through the right. Exhale, bend the left. Inhale, straighten. Last time, exhale, take it to the right. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, side lunge to the back. Now back to your 5-point star. First open, big inhale. Warrior 2 to the top. Bend into the right leg. So right toes point forward. Left toes are pointing diagonally to the left. And then start to lift from the right inner thigh. A little bend in the back knee. Soften the shoulders. Take a breath, big inhale. Settle in as you exhale. Good, now flip the right palm, inhale, reverse. Sweep it up and back, left hand to the thigh. Reach your right shin forward, lift from the right hip. Breathe into the right ribs. One more big inhale, and then exhale, side angle. Right forearm can come to the thigh. Left fingertips can come to the hip. Maybe reach to the ceiling, or maybe you extend. Now, like we talked about, see if you're kind of flaring your front ribs, your belly to the left. Kind of draw the pelvis underneath you, engage your core, and then just a little lift of the heart. Starting to open up through the right hip. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Now option 4, reverse triangle. So as you inhale, lift back up. This time, maybe you straighten through the right leg, little draw forward with your right hip bone, and then reach up and back through the right hand. Lengthen through the right side, front ribs in, strong legs. Take a breath, inhale, and then as you exhale, circle down, find a lunge position, and then step back, downward dog. Awesome work, shake it out. Good. Now from down dog, shift forward into high plank. Maybe come onto the knees, we're coming down to the ground. Slowly bend the elbows all the way to the earth. Good, now crocodile pose. Stack your palms, top of the mat. Forehead can hover, maybe forehead to the hands. Relax the shoulders. And then same thing, see if you're kind of arching your low back by kind of dropping your belly to the ground. Maybe see if you can draw the belly in and see how that changes how the low back feels. Now relax your left leg, start to point through the right toes, and then as you inhale, lift the right heel towards the ceiling, but keep your right hip on the ground. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the left, switching side. Left hip is grounded. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right, squeeze your right glute. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left. Exhale, lower. So go at your own pace, but see if you're flaring, see if you're overextending, right? Try not to flare the front ribs. Keep the front ribs pulling in, pubic bone is pressing down. And then once you come back to the right, maybe add a little pulse. If you need to, spread the toes, put a little pulse with the right heel, find your glutes, front ribs in for 3, 2, 1. Take an inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, lower. Other side, inhale, lift the left. Left hip is grounded, front ribs in, little pulse with the left heel for 3. Find your glutes, your hamstring, 2. Last one, big inhale, squeeze. Exhale, lower. Good. Forehead can come to the hands if it's not there. Maybe sway the hips a little bit, slow the breath down. Good. Now bring your palms underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes under, lifting up to maybe a kneeling plank, tabletop, and then exhale, down dog, hips high. Kind of use down dog to reset, to check in. If you need to, let any thoughts go. Good, and now we're going to come to the top of the mat. We have the other side. So lift your heels, gaze forward, find space. Bend the legs, step, walk, maybe hop to the top. Once you're there, halfway lift, maybe airplane arms, strong core to lift up. Exhale, fold, release, let it go. Keep a little bend in the knees, ground down, rise up, inhale, extended Tadasana, and then exhale, pull it in. Good, take a breath. Soften as you exhale. Good, now same thing on the other side. Ground down through your left foot. One-legged Tadasana, start to lift the right knee. Flex your right toes, squeeze your left glute, and strong belly, right? Make sure you're not flaring, hug the ribs in. Maybe hands at heart or reach the arms overhead. So we're gonna slowly shift back into airplane lunge, which this is great for your hips, right? A lot of hip mobility here, so know you're doing great work, great stuff. So take an inhale, and then as you exhale, slowly sweep it back, starting to bend into the left leg. Airplane lunge, right toes to the earth. Fingertips are reaching to the back. Now kind of see if you need to adjust. Think of like a line of energy from the heel to the crown of the head. So if you need to, maybe kind of lift up, pull your feet towards one another, and hug your front ribs in. Pelvis should be kind of scooping underneath you. Upper back is working, reach the shoulder blades down the spine. Now, strong core here as we add the arm movement. So as you inhale, reaching lunge, sweep the arms forward, strong belly, and then exhale back to airplane lunge, sweep it back. Moving meditation here. Inhale, slowly reach forward, pull the feet towards one another, exhale, sweep it back. So keeping the pelvis stable. One more, inhale, reach forward, exhale, sweep it back. Now inhale, 5-point star. Right hand's gonna sweep open, bursting open to the right. Pivot the toes in, heels out. Big inhale, back of your mat, side lunge, bend into the right knee, hands can come to the heart. Maybe you bob a little bit, but keep your front ribs in. Now we're gonna kind of shift side to side. So as you inhale, lift up, exhale, bend the left knee, side lunge, inhale, lift up, exhale to the right. One more, inhale, lift, exhale, bend the left. Last one, inhale, exhale to the right. Now back to 5-point start. Inhale, burst open. Warrior 2, pivot your left toes forward, bend into the left knee. So adjust. Maybe the feet are not where you want them at. It might feel, not great in the hips. Don't be afraid to adjust. But start to lift from the left inner thigh. Draw your feet in, strong legs. Soften the shoulders back. Here we go. Reverse warrior. Flip your left palm. Inhale, reach it up and back. Think of creating space in your left side from the hip through the armpit. Draw your left shin forward, gaze up or down. One more big inhale. And then exhale, side angle. Left forearm to thigh. Right hand can come to your hip. Maybe reach the right hand high or extend, your choice. But draw the feet in, strong legs. Find a little lift of the heart so the spine is more neutral. And then breathe into the left hip. Try not to arch the back. Adjust the pelvis, the front ribs. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Now big inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through the left leg. The hips will gently draw forward to lengthen from the toes through the fingertips. Good, big inhale. Exhale, circle down, low lunge. Right toes pivot forward, plant the palms, step your left foot back, downward dog. And then one more time, shift forward into high plank. And then lower all the way down to the ground. So kind of putting it all together. In yoga, this is locust pose, Shalabhasana. In Pilates, this would be what we did for breaststroke prep, okay? So know that the feet can be grounded, or you can start to lift the feet, but I want you to keep the low back supported, okay? So arms off to the side, maybe palms face down, or palms can face the outer thighs. But set yourself up here. Feet are grounded, knees lift, inner thighs squeeze in. And then see if you need to adjust, maybe pubic bone presses down, kind of draw the front ribs in to find your core. And then as you inhale, maybe just start to lift the heart. Hands can stay grounded, maybe start to take flight. And if this feels best with the feet grounded, and that helps you to engage the back bodies, go for it. Or maybe you find locust Shalabhasana and lift the feet. I'm not going, up. I'm reaching out and then slightly lifting from my inner thighs. So I'm trying not to compress the low back. Front ribs in, make sure to breathe. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lower. Good. Right away, palms come underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, kind of pressing up to a tabletop or a kneeling plank. Find kind of like a neutral spine. And then as you exhale, send the hips back, child pose or shell position. So shell position might be a little more supportive. Knees are closer together so the belly can rest on the thighs. But then let the forehead come to the ground, a block, maybe the fists, but then breathe into the low back. Soften through the face, the jaw, and kind of find gratitude. We did it. So know that you made it from point A to point B. Doesn't matter how it looked, but you're still here, still breathing. You just took time to work the body and the mind to better yourself. Take a breath, deep inhale, fill up with gratitude, fill up with grace for yourself. And then open mouth, exhale, share it off. Good. Awesome job. Slowly come on up. And then if you have a strap, feel free to grab it. But awesome job, we're there. Cool down, come onto your backs. Make sure the strap is nearby. And we're just gonna stretch it out, right? Calm the nervous system down, get us more into parasympathetic, and then we'll take Shavasana. So first, maybe find shell on your back. You can draw the knees to the chest, maybe rock a little bit. And then if you have a strap, Couple options. You can loop the strap around your right foot, okay, and find the hamstring stretch this way. If you don't have the strap, you can always interlace the fingers behind your right thigh and gently draw the right leg towards you. If you want to play with posture, it's called extended big toe, and you can make a loop with your strap. So my strap has a loop in it, and the loop is tight. It's not going to move. You can also place the strap around your foot and around the head, okay? And this might look like it's terrifying or it might look like it hurts. So feel free to explore it if you have the strap. And know I'm having a bend in my right leg, okay? But this posture is actually can be very relaxing, kind of using the weight of the head to lengthen through the back of the right leg. And I personally kind of like use it as like a hammock and just kind of sway. But my right leg is bent, so bend your right knee as much as you need to. And as always, if this feels absolutely horrible, no need to do it. All right, you can just place the strap around the foot or grab her behind the thigh. Maybe 2 more rounds of breath. Good. Take an inhale. Soften with the exhale. Good. And then take your time. If the strap is around the head, gently release it from the head. Head back down to the earth and then switch it out. If you have the strap, you can loop it around your left foot. If you don't have the strap, maybe place it behind the thigh and just gently draw the left leg towards you. If you want to explore the variation 1 of extended big toe, you could gently lift the head. Maybe the strap is long enough for you to place your head in the strap. And I'm kind of using my weight, using my head as a weight, right? And this also kind of feels good, kind of just lets the head kind of be in this position. Maybe it feels good in the cervical spine, but if it doesn't feel good, please release. And remember, keep a bend in the knee. One reason why I love the practice of yoga and also Pilates, it's a very humbling practice. And it always keeps you motivated. There's always another variation. There's always something else to explore. You can even kind of think of it as another way to grow. So find what you need here. Last 2 rounds of breath. Maybe you laugh at yourself a little bit. Laughter to help soften the edges. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Good, and take your time, slowly release. And then if you do have the strap, place it off to the side. And then let's find figure 4. So left foot can stay on the ground, cross the edge of your right foot, top of the thigh. Gently flex the right toes. Maybe stay here, maybe you lift your left foot. Maybe left foot to a block, the wall, or maybe you grab her behind the thigh. Try to relax the shoulders, open and close the mouth. Find a spot where you can create some space in the outer right hip, the right glute. And then you are more than welcome to stay here, or option to take this into a twist. So if you have the thigh, release it, left foot back to the ground, and then let your legs fall to the left. So figure 4 twist, your right foot can come to the ground. Still find a spot that feels good for the low back. So if you need to, see if you need to adjust the front ribs, the pelvis. But right knee can gently draw away. I kind of take my left hand and hold on to the shin, the ankle area. And then maybe chin falls to the right. But final supine twist. So find any variation. If figure 4 legs doesn't feel good, make sure to find something that does. Take an inhale. Maybe soften with the exhale. Good, and then take your time, slowly unwind, come back to center. And then figure four on the other side, right foot to the ground, cross the edge of your left foot, top of the thigh. Left knee gently draws away, flex your toes. And then find what the left side needs. Maybe lift your right foot, maybe place it on a block. But go to a spot where you can start to slowly open up and lengthen through the left hip. Relax the shoulders, soften the face, the jaw. And see if you can keep the breath nice and slow. Really being aware of any chatter, any noise, seeing if you need to adjust, release it. And then you're more than welcome to stay here, or you can slowly release. An option for the twist, maybe keep your figure four legs, let them fall to the right. Left foot can come to the ground. You can explore drawing the left knee away. That might intensify the stretch in the outer hip, but the belly is still reaching to the left. So try not to flare the ribs to the ceiling, adjust your pelvis if needed, maybe gaze to the left, but find a final twist. Maybe figure four legs, maybe you stack the legs. Final rinse. Take a deep inhale, maybe grow a little bit taller through the crown of the head. Gently twist with your exhale. And then slowly release, come back to center. And if there's anything else you need today, feel free to go there. Or option to maybe curl into a tiny little ball. Give yourself a big hug. Thank yourself for showing up. But then when you are ready, Shavasana, corpse pose, is there waiting for you. So take up as much space as you like. Let the arms and the legs go long. Maybe rock the head side to side a little bit. Wiggle out the jaw. Draw the shoulder blades underneath you. Find a little more space between the shoulders and the ears. And then see if you need to adjust the legs. Find a position in the legs that feels good for the low back. But really starting to encourage the body to relax, to soften, and to find some well-deserved rest. And as you take these final moments to be, you can kind of listen to whatever comes up, whether it's thoughts, maybe some tightness in the body. And know you have the opportunity to adjust. So maybe you adjust the body, maybe you adjust the thought pattern. So just really being aware for the next 2 minutes by maybe being with the breath or maybe taking time to listen. Awareness gives us the opportunity to let go or to make change. So using the awareness you cultivate right here, right now, to help you find maybe a better version of you. Letting go of any criticism, any judgment that we create within ourselves, and giving ourselves the opportunity to release it. Creating positive change from within to hopefully make this world a better place. And then if you have extra time, you're more than welcome to stay here for as long as you need to. When you are ready, slowly start to deepen the breath. And then start to reawaken your body, wiggle the fingers, the toes. Maybe gently wiggle the fingers, roll it out. And then always an option for a full body stretch, or maybe you want to rock to your favorite side for fetal pose, using the bottom arm as a pillow. But find a position where you would like to close out your practice. You're more than welcome to take a seat, Sukhasana. Eyes can be open or closed, hands can be on the thighs, maybe hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. And then maybe coming back to your statement you created at the beginning of class, maybe creating a new statement, but taking it with you as you venture into your day. Maybe reminding yourself that you are enough just as you are. And then we'll seal our practice in with a nice round of breath. So if you would like, take a deep inhale in through the nose, biggest breath yet. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And I thank each and every one of you for being here, for sharing your beautiful practices. I thank the practice of yoga and Pilates and all of my teachers, known and unknown. And from my heart to yours, with so much gratitude, I bow. Thank you, thank you.